All right. Um, Good Woch, everyone. We have Motzei Shabbos that is loaded with um, changes. It's the equinox, and we started saying Mashiach with the Geshem, and they're changing the time. It was 7 days. You can make Bekas Levana. For the Shecheshvan, it's all looks like we are going on a okay. So, well, let's take a look. As I said before, I think that we're going to be a little bit shorter today, but let's take a look at the Sichos Haran for tonight. We're Sicha 38. Rabbeinu says, this is in Tehillim 73, Shatu b'Shamayim PM, they aimed their mouth at the heavens. They put the mouth at the heavens. And their tongue walks the earth. It seems like it doesn't make any sense what's going on here. Rabbeinu says, Ki achshav mispashet ha'apikosis. Now the heresy has spread, shehutra haritzua, that, such lawlessness, it's totally allowed the dabar sara al kol tzadikim al kol yashim. It's okay to slander all the tzaddikim and all the yashim. The who in this situation is akin k'mamisha poishet l'sheina neged kol oilam. It's like somebody who gets a loose tongue to speak about the entire world. She'eino mashgiach al kol oilam. And really, he doesn't care, what the entire world says. As far as he's concerned, forget about it. And in truth, they are precurses or neged Hashem's Baruch Ba'atzma. The truth is that this heresy is against the Kodesh Baruch. But they are embarrassed to speak on Hashem's Baruch. That's why they switch over their apikosis, their heresy. So they speak about the world. And that's the meaning, Shatu b'Shamayim Piyam. They applied their mouth. What they actually put their mouth is b'Shamayim, it's in heaven. The truth is what they're actually saying with their mouth. Really, it's aimed against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. The main words is against Hashem's Baruch Hu. But in actuality, it's camouflaged. Their tongue, what they're actually speaking about, is with the people, in the world. Because they're embarrassed to speak against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's why their language is applied to the people in the world. They are speaking against the people in the world. In truth, in reality, they actually mean to speak about the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Rabbeinu says in Torah Yud Beis, the second Chelek Likutei Moharan, he mentions this pasuk. I think it's mentioned in a few places in Likutei Moharan. Bechol makom muktar mugash lishmi. In every place where they worship idols, in other words, they're giving offerings to the idols, in reality, they're really offering it to me. That's the side of Eker that Rabbeinu says, the side of Ma'amasasim. The meaning of it is that, what do you mean that they offer it over the Zara? They offer the sacrifices and the gifts, or whatever it is, to the Zara. What does a Navi mean? In every single place where they sacrifice, when they make an offering, they're actually offering it to me. The answer is, there isn't anybody else. Idols are fake. Whenever anybody is thankful to a higher power, it doesn't matter what he calls it. Yeah, it matters, to be chayav ben noach, avodah zarah is chayav misa. So as far as personal responsibility, yeah, they're chayav. But in truth, whatever offering that they give, whatever thanks that they give, ultimately everything goes to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. The same thing applies when somebody is angry about what's going on with him. It's very tempting to blame everybody and his uncle for my problem. Somebody moved my cheese. Somebody took mine, they ate mine, they moved mine. I don't know what they did. But everything is somebody else's fault. This is just wrong. I shouldn't feel this way. I should be healthy. I should feel be good, but I should be healthy. I should feel good. Others should feel good. Everybody should be doing what I want them to do. L'maisa, who is this person angry at? The answer is, the person is angry at the Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Everything that happens to me happens from the Shem. Everything from the macro to the micro is all from the Shem. When I get angry, what am I really angry at? Angry at the Shem. So people speak against Rabbanim. People speak against Gedolei Yisrael. Who are you speaking against? The person is really speaking against Hashem's word. But no, it's my wife who doesn't understand me. It's my children who don't listen to me. It's the municipality that is not cleaning the streets. It's the government. It's the media. It's everybody else's fault, except my own, of course. I said, well, what about you? Oh man, I'm worse than anybody else. No, so you just finished off the entire world. Somebody once came to Rav Nosson and he said, yelled that this one is wrong and this one is wrong and that one is wrong. So Rav Nosson asked him, what about you? He says, I'm worse than anybody. So Rav Nosson said, well, you finished off the entire world. Well, the truth is that he's okay, and he's okay, and he's okay. And you're also okay. Rabbeinu says there's a especially at Sahara, to speak against, to measure up great people, to grade them. This one is this big. This one is this big. This one, he's stupid. What are you talking about? This ultimate realization is that it's only you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's it. There isn't anyone else. So why do I speak about other people? Why do I blame it on other people? Unfortunately, the answer is because I don't trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What do you mean? What was it got to do with anything? No, but because things are not going the way I want them to go. It could be I'm not feeling well enough. It could be my prognosis is not well enough. It could be a lot of different things. If I were to trust the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then okay. Trusting HaKadosh Baruch Hu means you trust Him with your prognosis, and you trust Him with your health, and you trust Him with your relationships, and you trust Him with everything. You take a look at reality and it's all messed up. Okay. The main inyan of Sichos Haran, saw a wonderful article today of David Giltzman. He speaks about the inyan of Sichos Haran. The thing that we spoke about it last week, because there was another article that was a preliminary introduction to that one, that Midas Yesod is typified by a feeling that you have. And we akin this to you going around with anybody who has an empty plastic cup in his hand, just flips it, no problem. But when a person is going around with a cup which is full, then you're being very careful because you have. Sichos Haran is a sphere which is the meaning of the tzaddik, that it collects from all the spheres above it. When a person feels that he doesn't have, he spends without a cheshbon. The guy in my neighborhood, he's a rather wealthy guy, and he told me that I mean, we were talking about the problem of owing money and all that. And this guy owes, I don't know, like 1.5 million, 2 million shekels to the bank. And it all came out of a single loan I mean, just, he got to owe, he got a loan of 250,000 shekels. And it ballooned to 2 million shekels. So this guy, this wealthy guy told me, this guy, this man, that got messed up with this 2 million shekel, whatever, says he doesn't care. You know why? It's not his money. The initial $250,000 is also not his money. What does he care? Oh, $250,000, 2 million, it's the same thing. Who cares? It's not mine. If it's your money, then you care. If it's your money, you measure how much you give, how much you don't give, how much you spend, how much you don't spend. If you get into a state of mind, I don't have as is anyhow. So I might as well just spend. What do I care? It's not my money anyhow. It comes from a lack of trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I can't trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu to help me pay it back. I did whatever mistakes I did, or whatever I did, said, okay, you're a human being. Everybody goes whatever. It's okay. In fact, almost 30% of the Haredi world is in that state. The banks, they're giving out loans like drug dealers in the schoolyard, It's just take. But when a person gets desperate and he no longer trusts the Kodesh Baruch Hu, the Kodesh Baruch Hu will help him pay it all back, this is when he starts spending without cheshbon. When I don't trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu to make me well, when I don't trust Baruch Hu to make me feel well, I'm taking care of myself. Meaning I don't take care of myself. I'm throwing money away, I'm taking loans like there's no tomorrow. I don't care about my health. I don't care about my well-being. I don't care about any of that. This is called Gamma Bris. Gamma Bris is a gam of lack of Yeshuv Hadas. Each and every one of us has had at least one day when you woke up on the right side of the bed, you felt good, you had a nice davening, you didn't pick up every single phone call that came in, you didn't have to comment on every single headline in the newspaper, you didn't get angry with anybody, everything was okay. You did what you needed to do. What you didn't have to do, you didn't spend time on. There's a famous joke that they say that two men were meeting. The guy says, I can't take the arguments between me and my wife anymore. So the guy says, well, should learn from me. There's no arguments in my house. The guy says, how do you do it? He says, well, we made a division of labor, I make the big decisions. My wife makes the small decisions. She says, what do you mean? What kind of decision does your wife make? Well, we should decide, where we're going to live, what kind of car we're going to have, where the kids are going to go to school, what kind of furniture we're going to buy, that kind of stuff. So that's a small decision. What kind of decision do you make? Because I'll decide what America will do, what Russia will do, who will be voted president in America. These are decisions that I make. A lack of Yishuv Adas means that you're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. You're angry with everything that moves. You're saying things that you shouldn't say. You're looking where you shouldn't look. You spend that which you shouldn't spend. You borrow where you shouldn't borrow. The Paul Yosef Rabbeinu is saying here is that when people speak about tzaddikim, when people speak about the reality around them, they're actually speaking against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That means, for us, it means one thing. Before you speak, think. Should you say that? Or should you not? Before you look at something, should you look at it? Shouldn't you look at it? There's a phone call. When you're in a state of lack of Yishuv Adas, not only that you pick up every phone call you get, you're looking for people to call. Just to get the steam off. If you ever spoke to people that are focused, if you ever dealt with people that are focused, busy people, when they get a phone call, they look to see who it is. And if they need to speak to this person, they do. If they don't pick up the phone. It's a freedom to decide. The truth of the matter is that the minute that you keep on spending, that you keep on pouring, Gamma Bris means that you're taking stuff that you need to do, but you're doing it in the wrong time, in the wrong place. What is Gamma Bris? Gamma Bris is that you're putting the shefa where it doesn't belong. But he says there really are no titles. There are no things that are forbidden. Person needs to eat. Person shouldn't stuff his head into Epicurean delights. But you need to eat. Person need to procreate. But it doesn't mean that you should look where you shouldn't look. Or you should say what you shouldn't say. You should behave like you shouldn't behave. Every single thing that a person does, you need to speak. Of course you need to speak. Who you need to talk to, what you need to say, what you need not to say. And the thing is, this is always habit forming. When you want to say something and you don't, because you're not sure that this is something you should say, it puts you into a cycle of Yishuv Adas. You don't say what you need not to say, then you don't look when you need not to look. You end up not spending. The only thing is that you have to make a decision. There's no such thing as Yitzhak. There's no such thing as Yitzhak. The only thing is that there is something of Yishuv Adas or lack of Yishuv Adas. Yitzhak wants to kill you. He wants to drive you to a state of lack of madness. So Rebbe says in Torah Aleph, Yitzhak wants to make a person crazy. He doesn't say that he wants the person to do an avera. He wants to make a person crazy. Wanting to make a person crazy means that you are doing the right things at the wrong time and the wrong place. You have to spend money. But when you spend money at the wrong place, because what the heck, I owe it anyhow, it's not my money anyhow, I owe it, I'll never pay it back, whatever it is. you lack bitochen HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This despair comes because I don't trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I can wrap it up with all kinds of excuses. She is, he is, they are, then ultimately you're really talking against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know why I keep on borrowing money? You know why I keep on spending much more than I ever made? Because I really don't trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu can or will help me pay it back. One of the things that is very, very common amongst people that overspend, or they have problem with shlom bayis, or whatever, or don't take care of their health, is when you tell them, when you have money problems have two sides. How much you make, bring in, and how much you let out. If you want to be in a healthy situation, you want to rectify the situation, this is Bashir. Yes, you need to work on, you need to do more work, you need to see that more money will come in. But at the same time, you have to make sure that less money goes out. Because if you don't control what goes out, it doesn't matter how much comes in. It doesn't matter how much comes in. You're gonna end up in a spiral. This is Yetzer Hara Rotzeh Lasot Et Ha'Odam L'Mishugah Mamish. It's all wants to make you crazy. He wants you to spend your energy, spend your words, spend your thoughts, spend and spend and spend, and at the end you'll end up the day totally spent, totally exhausted, totally bereft of any energy and money and everything else that you want to talk about. You can talk about this one, he did this to me, did this to me, that did it to me, that did it to me. Ultimately, when you speak about everybody else, you're really speaking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a very, very, very important hakara. Rabbeinu says every single person who is Yireh Shamayim, when he wakes up in the morning, the first thought that should be in his head, that this world is not the only thing that there is. There's Olam Haba also. So we sort of like, okay, I do this, I do that, I daven, I put on shoulders, great things. But what is the real thing for me? So Olam Hazeh. The minute I have, Chas v'Chalila, somebody has any kind of health problems, whatever it is, you raise that as it should be, because the life is very precious. Life is very precious because you can get Olam Haba with it. If a person is just riding the bus, if you were to see a person who's standing there with a stack of single dollar bills, and he is riding a Greyhound, and you're riding right along him, and you see him standing, next to the window, and he takes the dollar bill and he throws it out of the window, and he keeps on after takes it out of the dollar bill, and then throw it again out of the window, and he keeps on taking out of the dollar bill, another out of the window, and you just look at the guy just throwing another dollar bill, another dollar bill, another dollar bill, and then over the ride, the person turns to you and says, "Can you lend me $20?" No. What? You were throwing the money out of the window. Now you need $20. When a person is focused on Olam Hazeh, Just Olam Hazeh, just Olam Hazeh is akin to somebody who's throwing his time away. Time is the only asset we have. There's nothing else. As Rabbeinu says, you'll have, you won't have, you'll live your life this way, that way. It's the same thing. No, but I need to have, but I need to this, I need to that. That means Yetzirah wants to make us crazy. The main issue of Adas is for a person to understand there really is Olam Haba. There really is Olam Haba. Everybody has to leave this world. Everybody has to lie in the grave. Yishuv Adas means before you speak, before you spend, before you decide anything. You're going to come, you're going to go, you're going to this, you're going to that. First thing, make a decision. Do I want to go into my grave with that decision? With that deed? Having spoken those words? Having heard these people? Having spoken Lashon Hara? Whatever it is. If the answer is that you don't, you better not say that thing or do that thing or look at whatever it is. Why? Because you're going to go into the grave with that decision, whatever decision you're going to make. You know, I have a long time. Of course you have a long time, Ezrat Hashem. But nevertheless, everything that you do, you're taking with you. Every single word that you say, you're taking with you. Every piece of gossip that you monger, you're taking with you. Ezrat Hashem, you'll live for 1,000 years. Olavai, no problem. But you're going to take it with you. Yeah, but I'll do tshuva. When are you going to make tshuva? Tomorrow will bring about a whole cornucopia of new distractions, of new madnesses, of more madness in pouring of the shefa to places where it needs not to go. The first notion of Shmiras Habris is care. Take care. Take care of your assets. Take care of your time. Take care of your speech. Take care of your eyes. Take care of what you're doing with the time. When your children say something to you, when they're driving you, batty, whatever it is they make you, it's okay. Before you say to them, before you let your anger come out, your need to control to come out, your need to defend yourself, as it were. Just think. Do I want to say this or not? Is it the right thing for me to say or not? No shiddatim kal. There's nothing you can do about it. Your wife can just give you a flick across the face, emotionally, of course. And if you react to it, you're just being a little child. You're supposed to be the man. What does it mean to be the man? To force it to shut up, to show who's boss now. What you need to do, being a man, means you understand that any woman, especially a Jewish one, at certain times she needs to dig into you. There's nothing you can do about it. It's part of the course. But because you're committed, okay, I'm here. Go ahead, dig. And if you listen to your hero and you don't say, because saying what you really want to say, because she makes me feel so humiliated and like such a failure that I want to Oh, I have one thing to say, man. It's a poison arrow that it goes straight through, the chinks in the armor and hit right where it really, really hurts. I'm really going to shut her up. And guess what? The minute the words leave your mouth, you go, I shouldn't have said that. And guess what? You shouldn't have said that. You should not have said that. The problem thing with women, like Olam Haba, is that they don't forget. They don't forget. If you said something to your wife that hurt her feelings, I'll tell you a whole story. Okay? But don't tell my wife. Many, many years ago, almost like 40 years ago, we were new Balachuvas. My wife asked me, who comes first, me or Hashem? So being a new Balachuvas, I said, Hashem, of course. Okay. She let it go. 20 years later, 20 some odd years later, I said to her, do you remember when you asked me that question, who comes first, you or Hashem? She says, yeah. So I said, I gave it the wrong answer. Yeah. So what's the answer? So the answer is that you come first for me. Hashem comes first for us, for both of us. And she said, thank you. You took a burden off my mind. 20 some odd years, she didn't say a word. You have no idea how much crow I ate for 20 years. Because this one thing, I just blurted it out. I didn't think of it. It's a fun thing to say. When you say something you should not say, especially to your wife, trust me, you'll pay for it every single day. And she'll never ever let on. I mean, even the Shabak or the Mossad and the FBI and the CIA together will never ever take the secret out of her mouth of really what she's doing. Do you know the sentence like the famous quote of wives say, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. Have you ever heard that? You say, what's the problem? And the wife says, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. And you go like, well, she's crazy? What's going on here? How am I supposed to know? What, I'm a mind reader? No, you have to be a mind reader. Do a, rewind. What did they say? You'll notice you said something, and you thought that that's it, it's over. Guess what? It's not. And it's never going to be. You know why? Because your wife is the wife HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you. Eselo Ezra connected. It's the wife HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you, and if you are the way you're supposed to be, she will remind you. She is the biggest sign that there is an Olam Haba. There is Olam Haba, and nothing is ever forgotten. Be careful of what you say. Be careful where you look. Be careful what you do. The easiest thing in the world, I didn't mean this to become a Shlombais Sikha, but the easiest thing in the world is to do what you really want, because you want to leave the house and you really want to run away. And you don't want to take out the garbage, and you don't want to clean up the whatever it is that you don't want to do. And to put a very nice excuse, I have to go. I'm busy. I have a meeting that this is a meeting that I already made like weeks ago. I can't afford to miss this. And you think that your wife doesn't know. Let me tell you the one last thing about your wife. Your wife is the only person on earth that knows exactly where you're at. The only thing is she doesn't have the words to say it. That's it. Nobody else in the world knows you except your wife, as it were. Because Baruch also knows where you are. The tzaddik also knows where you are. But they're not in your face. The wife is. Use it. Use her. Use that weather vane of your wife that is super sensitive. To train yourself in Shmiras HaBris in all aspects. Start by controlling your laugh. Not just to your wife. Well, you get up, just don't talk. You're worried who's going to be voted for president of the United States of America? Talk to the only one who can do something about it. Talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's it. You have to discuss, what this one said or that one says. It's shtuyot. It doesn't mean anything. The world is full with pundits. There's only one who decides who's going to be the next president of the United States of America, and that's Kodesh Baruch Hu. You take a look in Israel, everybody. Almost half the people, nothing more, like I said, 20, 30% of the people are going bonkers. The media goes bonkers. And the same prime minister is being elected again. And they're doing everything under the sun to get him down. And guess what? It doesn't work. So what do you want? You want to analyze it? That means that you're talking about things you shouldn't talk about. That's a lack of Shmiras HaBris. That's madness. That's a shigun. If you remember in Spurim Isis, just before you're actually stepping up to the truth, the last stage is keep things inside. Keep things inside. People that have keep things inside. People who don't have spend without any regard. It works both ways. If you are in a situation that you are floundering, stop spending your thoughts, your words, your money, your attention, and you'll start having. You'll start getting Yeshiva Das. You start getting peace of mind. Every single word you don't say, every single deed you don't do, deed that you shouldn't do, that you don't do, stops the hemorrhaging. You end up the day full. Because you have content. The content is in you. But if you just let it go, just spend it, it doesn't matter anyhow. Because I don't trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu will be able to help me to actually, stabilize the boat again. And and everything goes down. It doesn't matter anyhow. I might as well. You know, I can't afford to buy myself a new car. So, I'll buy a more expensive car. I can't afford either one of them anyhow. So what difference does it make? Or this causes a lack of bitachon. This is called a lack of bitachon. If you need a car, you really need a car, because Baruch is going to give you, you need to borrow, so you borrow, but you borrow the least that you can. This is Shmir Sabis. This is usual Adas. Talking against tzaddikim, talking against the world, talking against this one, talking about that one. I'll tell you exactly what the deal is. I'll tell you exactly what's going on with A, B, C, D, E, whatever it might be. It's Ramabis. This is ultimately the lack of trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shatu b'shamayim piyem, l'shoinam telach ba'aretz. You find each other speaking about everybody, derogatorily, this one is wrong, and this one is nothing, and this is worthless. You're actually talking about a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And what you're saying is, Hashem, either you can't help me, because, come on, let's be sensible. How can you possibly do it? Or else you don't care about it. So you won't do it. So I have to do whatever it is I need to do on my own. This is the Kikosis, Posh the Kikosis. Gentlemen, I want to wish each and every one of you a very, very healthy winter. We started, we said tonight, so obviously soon enough we're going to have to, we're going to have rains to contend with. Tonight we're going to have 1 hour less to sleep. Shabbos is coming, like 4:30? Becoming, earlier and earlier. Bezrat Hashem, on Monday, Yitzhak Hashem, we will start learning Ma'aseh Mechiga. I think this is a good place to visit. Talks about who I am, talks about exactly what we spoke tonight. What's the pshat of Shmir Sabis? Not to spend needlessly. And what kind of geula it brings to you. Words, money, everything else.